Welcome to my humble model railway, Bedstead Junction. There's a headboard down there. Now, we're going to be talking about two different things now. Now this can almost be, I made a video a little while ago called the Hornby train set. And we can call this a Hornby train set Mark II. Or Part 2, let's say, not Part 2, Part 2. If you forgive me. And what we see going around now is a lovely little train set. Or the locomotive and carriage and wagons from a lovely little train set. And we'll just share what this is all about and how I came about obtaining these. Now, my sister gave me a telephone call about a week ago on a Sunday, asking me if I wanted some modern railway items, as they were going on their way to the tip, and a lot of their stuff was going to be thrown out. Okay, they had to clear their shed, so the shed had been leaking as well, so these items would be damp at least, and they did come quite damp actually. We'll just show you what we actually got, because there was one train set which I featured before, which was the industrial freight train set, and now we're going to have a look at the other train set which I managed to save. And it's my first Hornby train set, battery operated train set, obviously designed for very small children. At least that would have been the target market for it, I would expect. And the idea behind this would be that it would be a battery operated train set. I should imagine that would be for parents who were buying the first train set for their child and they were worried about using with children around a controller that was connected to the mains. So this is a battery operated train set, and we're going to take a look at it now. Now bear in mind that when I actually received this, the box was literally soaking wet. It was falling to pieces, but when I looked inside, the contents were perfect. Now if we have a look and see what we've got here, we've got a lovely little LMS locomotive there, the carriage, then a little brown wagon and a grey wagon. It's for ages 3+. Okay, and there's a train set out there as it would be. And as you see, it's got a lovely little passenger carriage with it. Requires 4 C-type batteries, not supplied. And there's a little picture of the layout as it would be. Now it came with its own little track mat, and the it's made with normal Hornby track, so it's not like a little piece of plastic track or anything. The actual track which they included in the set is exactly the same as what we're looking at now here. Exactly the same. Now I've not been able to get this actually working with the battery operation, because the actual screw holding down the top of the battery compartment was actually stuck solid, so I had to drill it out. Somebody had attempted to remove it before, and they couldn't, and they rounded off the screw as well, and it was in there really tight. But the actual battery compartment's inside the little house there, the little root house thing, or the station building. And the idea would be there's a screw in the middle of the roof, and you take the screw out, and inside you will insert 6 C-type batteries, and it actually all came together. And it contained the actual 2 halves of the train set you can see there, and one of them is a station building, and then the other one is literally a tunnel with a car park on top. So very, very interesting little train set for a small child, and that's the track that would have come with that. As you can see, normal track, and it came with a storage carry case and a track mat. Excellent. Now unfortunately, I think as with a lot of things, children's interest can sometimes be short-lived in things, and unfortunately this is what happened. I think this was probably bought for my 2 nephews, and this set we can see going around at the moment was for the youngest nephew, I should imagine, and they lost interest. I mean, during their time of growing up, there was a great deal of competition for interest. Things like Pokemon, computer games, all kinds of computerized ways of entertaining oneself. And of course, maybe the train set didn't float their boats enough, unfortunately. Not everyone gets into railways. I mean, I didn't get into modern railways until I was in my 30s. Well, until I turned 30. Well, I think I was about 32 years of age when I got interested in modern railways. And we're just going to put the do not disturb on. There we go. We've done that. Sorry about that. Okay, so I was 32, and as I've explained in previous videos, it was only when I started to travel in connection with my work that I started to take an interest in trains. And before then, I wasn't much of a railway traveller. I mean, I'd gone to the odd training course here and there for on the train. But when you travel somewhere the same way every day, you go through all the stations, you start to gain, I think some of us start to gain an interest. Now we'll have a little look at what we've got here now. What's going round and round and round in circles. And this is another thing as well. I mean, personally, I find watching this go round and round and round, my little humble railway, quite interesting. I could sit here for quite some time just happily watching this and you know, feeling quite happy and content. And I think that's something that we all need to aim for in some way or another, is finding something that makes us feel happy and content. Some people like fishing. Well, I like fishing too, actually. Some people like watching television. And for me, modern railways is one of the ways in which I can wind down and relax. But look at this, isn't that a lovely little train set? Okay, so we'll take a little look at her. We'll bring her down to this little place here where I normally view, because the light's shining on it from that direction. Might get a bit of shadow on it, but we'll have a look. Now then, we'll see. There we are. So it's an 040 LMS tank engine. They've got the little passenger carriage just there, and then the brown wagon and the grey wagon, just as it's shown on the actual the box. My first train set, look at that, beautiful. Pardon my thumb getting in the way. So we're looking at exactly what's on the box. Or as one of my fellow YouTubers would say, does exactly what it says on the tin, and this does. If you imagine, when I got this out of the box, I thought, well, what's the chance of this running? But what I do, if ever I buy a second-hand locomotive, no matter how they've described it, no matter whether it's runner, non-runner, anything else, I always put it on the track first of all and see if it goes. See if there's any sign of life whatsoever. And what did this one do on the track? Gave it a little push and off it went. So there we go. So I took it the body off, gave it a good oiling, and away it goes. So our little 040 tank engine now is faithfully going round. Because it's an 040 with a very, very short wheelbase, I should imagine it's hitting the dead spot of these points quite a lot, but it seems to go over quite well. It doesn't just stop on the points, and in fact I'm able to drive this over points quite well. It's not highly detailed, but then it's designed for children to play with, so you don't want things falling off. So like separately fitted parts that could form a choking hazard. And to be honest with you, if you saw one of my videos where I'm talking about comparing old stuff with new stuff, especially from Hornby, you'll see that sometimes I had a complaint about separately fitted parts falling off these locos, which isn't a great deal, a great thing to have if you've got children playing with the layout. So anyway, that's a negative thing. We're going to get into the positives, and this is the positive thing to see this going round. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the other train set in a moment, or at least the rolling stock and the locomotive, and we can compare the two. In fact, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to run them both into the station here, where our group of sailors is. They're there faithfully waiting for their train to come to take them to their destination. So I'm going to attempt to run this lovely little loco in. Now we're going to see how it goes over points. I mean, that's very just a moment. Right, there was just a short break there. I just had to answer the phone a second, so I'm just coming back now for to finish off this video now. So sorry if there appears to be sort of a lack of continuity there. Here we go. Let's bring this train round again now. Here it comes. You can see it sort of goes around the track very, very well. I'm going to stop her right at the top of the signal box there. Now it is sort of running in a little bit of a stuttery fashion, but then it's not bad considering it's been kept in a leaky shed for ages, and it's actually working. I think it's quite fortunate for it to be working. I think its performance would improve as we run it around the track more and more. It's not had much running in yet, so let's just bring her in and just see. Okay, so we'll just sorry about the shadow. We'll just chip the points to there and there, and we'll see if she can come in down into the station. You know, I'll show you over the points, no problem at all. A little bit of hesitation there, a little bit of jerkiness coming in, but it's running. It's working. There's a little bit of jerkiness coming in there, so let's have a look and just see again. Which I don't think at the moment is a problem. I've just got my finger in the way again. Sorry about that. And we'll just see. Yeah, it's very, very jerky. When you try to go slow with it, but it will. If you imagine that, it was quite stiff. I mean, I've oiled it and everything. So, but you know, the consequence of leaving it in a leaky shed for quite a long time probably wasn't the best thing for it. But let's have a nice look at her. Look at that, beautiful. Look at that, NMS, the London Midland and Scottish Railway, a rival to the GWR, which I am actually feature the most, the GWR. In fact, the LMS did come into Bristol. There we are. We're looking at that in the station. Isn't that superb? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the other one now, which was featured before in a previous video, but we'll have a look at it again. Don't see the harm in doing that, and then we can have a look at the two engines and compare them. So we're just going to set the points ready for this one to come in, and we'll just set the point here and here. So now the theory is that this one should come out of the station. So let's give it a go, shall we? Now this one's running much better because it probably is had more time on the track. Okay, and this is the industrial freight train set. So let's just change the points. Click, there we go. We'll have a little talk about this one. Okay, we just change direction there, and away we go, right away. Now this is the industrial freight train set. This was given to my older nephew on his birthday, and he received this on his birthday while we were all staying at Hale in Cornwall. So this was opened up in the chalet, and we can see again, once again, industrial freight, as you saw in the previous video. Smaller branch lines, lightweight engines, hold trains on the more remote parts of the British Isles. These small locomotives were to be found toiling away in the shunting yards, often working around the clock. This is typical of one of these hard-working engines. And there we are. And again, it gives you an idea on the box about what you were going to do. That's the track mat there. The track mat was not with this set, unfortunately. But and that's what the set looks like. Perfect, look at that. And then we've got exactly what it says on the tin. As one of my fellow YouTubers would say, does exactly what it says on the tin. And this is exactly what it says on the tin. Okay, it's going around the track perfectly well. Our poor little NMS, we'll have to have another look at this one maybe, give her some more oil and give her a clean. And this one here is stopped now. up at the top. Oh, there we are. And bear in mind, these locomotives have been stored in wet conditions, so oh, there we go. Blimey, we're going away now. The more they run, the better. I mean, often when locomotives second-hand on eBay, they've been a little bit sort of rough running to start with, and then the more you run them, give them a nice bit of oil. The more you run them, the better they go. And I think that's the case with this one, because this one is running a lot more smoothly. You can imagine this working, shunting these wagons around a yard, and these would have probably worked on branch lines as well, small branch lines in and out of factories or steel works, perhaps even coal mines, who knows. Well, there we are. In fact, it would be, because we got British Steel was on the first wagon, so there we are. It would have carried steel. And these two little train sets have been actually effectively saved from going into a skip or off to the recycling dump. And I can see they're perfectly good. So what a crying shame that would have been for them to go. When my sister offered them, I said we'll bring them up. And then she turned up by surprise on a Sunday afternoon with them. It was a nice surprise, pleasant, fantastic surprise. And there we are. Now, I think with these little sets, you've got the locomotive and 3 wagons, or a coach and a couple of wagons, and that's what would have come with most train sets. And I think this is typical of what you would get as a first train set today. Probably get a different locomotive. And what we're going to do now, we saw it coming round. And as you see, they both need a little bit of work on them to get them going a little bit better. But we can work on that now. In fact, as this one's been going around the track more and more, it seems to be running more and more smoothly. Imagine that these were in a leaky shed for months, possibly years. The boxes, well, they were almost destroyed. The boxes were soggy, but I dried them out in the sun in the garden. I managed to save the boxes. There's pieces of track there which will be useful for me. It came with another loco, which is there, which you can see at another time. I think we've seen that in my first video of the Hornby train set. And we're going to run this one in just a second so we can compare the two. Okay, so we'll just stop at the signal there, and we're going to move along and change the points. So click. We've already changed the points here, so now we should be going into the station. As you see, this one's running a little bit better than the other one. So it's a little bit jerky, but it works. Now look at this. Now we can compare what we got. Now the two locomotives were effectively identical, apart from the livery they've been presented in. So if you have a look, yes, they are exactly the same. If you take them apart, they're mechanically the same. So it must have been the kind of standard locomotives for a charged train set or beginner. I mean, I'd say this industrial freight, especially this industrial freight, would have been good for anyone for their first train set. Get you started, see if you like the hobby. And look, we've got everything there that you need from both train sets. Now, I hope this has been of interest to you. Now, you may have seen something on the edge of the layout. I don't know, you're wondering what those are. This will be another one of my videos coming up shortly. And it'll be almost like, well, do you believe in the little people? Well, yes. And there they are, ready to work on my railway. PD Marsh models. Okay, or P&D Marsh models, okay. Loco crew. 2 loco crews in there. And we'll have a look at that later on in another video. Okay, now one of the reasons I've gone back to filming with the phone is that I was getting some serious focusing issues with the camera. The camera was putting up a brave effort, but really it had very, very slow autofocus, and it was not focusing in. It was given excellent bokeh, as they call it, which is a blurry background, but you don't need that really on something like this. You want to see the whole railway in all its glory, which is what we're getting here now, with a nice picture. Okay, so, well, thank you for watching. Now, if you like what you see, press like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and you'll be told when new videos will be coming out. And I look forward to seeing you soon with one of my other videos I'll be making in the future, which is going to be saying, we'll be on the theme of, like I say, do you believe in the little people? Okay, so thank you very much, thank you for watching, and bye bye.